What's going on, everyone? Justin again. As always, thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. I was watching one of Nestor's videos from the Mechanic OC. It was called What Schooling You Need to Open a Mechanic Shop. And as I was watching this, I was listening to some of the things that he was talking about. And I wanted to weigh in here because it's very important to me to express my opinions about how I feel about schooling. I know how he feels about schooling. I know how things worked out for him. And for the better. I mean, he owns his own shop, and as a shop owner, he knows why schooling didn't exactly help him when it came to opening his own business, but I believe it certainly helped him to become a better mechanic stepping into the industry. I know that his video was not about how it helped to prepare him as a mechanic to step into the industry, and it was more geared towards owning your own shop. But I wanted to cover this topic because I have been getting asked, especially by a lot of the older generation, or the boomers if you will, about if it's too late for them to learn the new trade and how do they go about learning it. And I've always said I would not ever give them any kind of advice that I wouldn't already give to somebody that's in their youth, like in their early 20s or their late teens, getting ready to go into college. College was definitely the key to my success. In fact, I once upon a time ago had this poster, wherever I stick it, okay? And John Carlos, who took third place in the Olympics back in the late 60s, he told me that education was the key to his success. He was actually a teacher of mine when I was going through high school and my track coach and mentor. And as I was going through high school, and he would always push education and how it will make you successful over time. Me going to college after my second deployment was definitely the key to my success as a mechanic and as an adult man that had a family and that had children, okay? If I would not have gone to college, I would not be where it is that I am today, and I would not be able to care for my family the way that I do. He also made mention of failure. If you go into college thinking that you're going to school to make it your plan B, then you are going to fail because it's your plan B and you might not take it very seriously. I also will tell you that that is not the case, at least it wasn't for me, because when I went to college, I did look at the first degree that I went for as my plan B. It was never my plan A to become an automotive mechanic or technician. I went to school originally to become an automotive technician or mechanic so I can learn more about how to fix my own vehicle without having to pay hefty fees by taking my vehicle to a dealership or an independent shop. I'd rather buy the parts myself and do it myself, and I wanted to learn how to do it so I wouldn't have to rely on a shop to do it for me. My plan A actually was to go to Brooks Institute of Technology in Ventura, California, and get into film, be it editing, producing, audio overlay, acting, etc. I already knew what it was that I wanted to do, but I didn't know what that cost would be. All I know is that I needed to have a better than minimum wage job in order to get there and in order to achieve my plan A goal. So I went to school first for something that offered a decent wage that would probably provide me with enough income to go and do that. It wasn't until after I got divorced, made my move from Oregon down to California, I went straight down to Ventura, California. I had everything lined up. All of my credits were transferred down there. I thought everything was written in stone. And then only to find out that there was no place for me to live, that the housing I was going to have to pay for, that they didn't have anything lined up. They were assuming that I was going to use my post 9/11 GI Bill, which I'd already told them I already used up. I didn't have anything left, and I was hoping that financial aid would cover it, which financial aid would only cover up to half of what I needed every term. And then in 3.5 years, it was going to be something like $85,000 or $89,000 to complete the program, and all of which financial aid wasn't going to cover. And no matter how many scholarships or grants that I applied for, it was not going to be available for me when I started. They had told me I could work a part-time job. I was like, there's no way, even with a part-time job as a mechanic, that I'm going to be able to actually afford my own cost of living, to be able to go to school full-time, to complete this college degree program, and then get to where it is that I wanted to be. So I chalked it up as a loss, got myself back into the dang truck, drove out to Southern California, down into Palm Springs, started looking for a job. Ended up working for Ford for a little bit, and then shortly thereafter ended up moving up to the Yucca Valley area where I had met my now current wife. And then it took about a year gap between the Ford dealer and me working for a towing company before I actually got back on my feet. At that time, it was so difficult to try to find any kind of a job, and the places that I applied for, even minimum wage would not accept me because they said, you have too much experience. Like, we know that if we offer you a job here at minimum wage, you're not going to hang on to it long enough because you might get yourself a job in automotive mechanics, which pays a lot more, and then we would lose you. It's just not worthwhile. We're looking for people that don't have any career experience or job experience that want to come in and work, and we think we can keep them longer. So as a result, I could not find just any regular job. The fact that I got in with the tow company was quite a little bit different than what I originally thought I was going to end up doing, because I got picked up so much by AAA that they eventually just offered me a job so I'd have my own tow truck, because my Jeep was forever on the side of the highway. I was forever having to fix that thing in the back of the desert, and that's exactly what started my YouTube channel. I was already interested in filming, I was already interested in editing, I was already interested in trying to do something that would help somebody else out. I saw a lot of content creators start to come into their own, like Bleepin' Jeep, like Eric the Car Guy, like Scanner Danner. I was like, but there were so many videos that I had to watch in order to get one answer for any repair that I didn't know anything about, because I didn't have all data. I didn't have Identifix. So I was like, okay, cool. So that's what really kind of inspired me to start doing my own content and my own videos, and the ways that I was able to do it without a lift, without jack stands, more times than not. And I showed you guys in the desert aspect. But I still ended up doing film and editing and audio overlay, just not the way that I anticipated doing it. So my plan A still is part of my life, just not in the way that I thought it would be. I thought it would be at a much higher level. I really thought I'd work with like Warner Brothers or Lionsgate or something like that, but it just never ended up coming into fruition. But my plan B, because I had that plan B, because I had that degree, I then went ahead and moved away from the towing company and into the Chrysler dealership, and I had that degree, and that degree is what got my foot in the door, and as a result, I was able to get a job there at the dealership to start my career to become a Chrysler Certified Master Tech. I didn't get all the way there. I was level 2 across the board, level 3 in a couple of areas. If I would have given myself a couple more years, I would have been a Master Tech across the board. Instead, I ended up going the independent route. You guys know my story from there. But I will tell you this, I've learned more at the independent shop than I did at the Chrysler dealership. Not in the same way though, not the educational way and on one specific manufacturer, but I have learned a lot about a lot of different manufacturers along the way. So was me going to college a complete loss? Was it stupid for me to go and take that college education versus trying to figure out how to get my foot in the door and work my way up? I don't believe so. I think going to college was the key to my success. That is the reason why I got my foot in the door. That is the reason why when I filled out the application and gave them my resume, that they accepted me, because of that education. While I was in college, there were guys in their mid to late 50s going through the program to make it their plan A. Okay? This was my plan B, which very shortly over time became my plan A. Okay, my plan B became my plan A. So I don't feel like I ever failed at what it was that I sought out to do. I might not have got exactly where I wanted to be, but I'm not where I'm not. You know, does that make sense? Like, I could have been so far worse. If I would have never gone to college, never jumped through those hoops, never finished the 2-year program, I would not be where it is that I am today. We would not be having this conversation. I would not even have a channel. So for that, I'm extremely grateful with what it is that I've done in a short period of time, because a decade really is kind of a short period of time if you think about it. And in that time frame, I've done an awful lot, you know. So I think that college was the key to my success. That's what John Carlos told me when I was 18 years old. I wish I would have listened to him earlier on and not have waited, 10 years before I even tried. But I am where I am. I did have a healthy career in the military. I was able to retire, and I am doing what it is that I enjoy doing. Outside of turning a wrench and having that as my career path, I'm at least able to still edit and do my videos and share with you guys here on YouTube. So for that, I'm telling anyone out there that's questioning whether or not education is important and whether or not you should go to college, look, it really depends on what it is that you want to do, where it is that you want to be, what your financial affordability is, and then furthermore, what your dedication to it is. Because if you can't dedicate that amount of time to complete the program, then yes, unfortunately, you are going to fail. But if you have something written down and you have an outline or a plan going into it, you are going to succeed. It is going to be beneficial to you. It is going to help you get into a higher pay bracket than anyone else in a shorter period of time. I know this for a fact. I've worked with guys that have been at the dealership for over 5 years that were still at $13 to $15 an hour. When I walked in, I was at $10 an hour, and within less than a year and a half, I was at the $18 realm. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. I know that this thing can help you. So if you decide that you want to do this thing called school, it will help you in the long term and in the short term. That's my food for thought for tonight's discussion topic, guys. If you like today's content, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. Share if you want to share. Thanks as always for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers. And deuces.